TG Tutorials.
I'm reliable. Hey guys, it's Matt here, and in today's episode of TG Tutorials, I'm going to teach you how to record PS1 footage using your Roxio Game Capture HD Pro and a special little device. Alright guys, so first off, let's show you exactly what you need.
The first thing you're going to need is a PlayStation 1, which I really hope you knew before getting to this portion of the video. You'll also need AV cables as well. As long as they're compatible with the PS1, then any AV cables are fine. The next thing you'll need is the Roxio Game Capture HD Pro, which again, I hope you knew before getting to this portion of the video. Roxios are going for around $100 brand new, and make sure to get one with a CD because that has a program on it that works with the Roxio itself. And the next thing you'll need is a mini AV to HDMI, so that means that yes, you will also need an HDMI cable as well. Also a mini USB cable too. The mini AV to HDMI is going for around $10.
And now that you know what you need, let's show you exactly how to do it.
The first thing you're going to need to do is turn your PS1 around and plug in your AV cables in the AV multi-out port. The next thing you'll need to do is plug in the AV cables into the input side of the AV to HDMI mini. Now this is where the HDMI comes into play. The HDMI needs to be plugged into this side of the device. And turning the system around will show you why we need a mini USB. You can plug the mini USB into this port right here and have the other half go into your computer, and also as you can tell there is an option to turn the system to either NTSC or PAL. Now here's where things get a bit tricky and we're going to need some more HDMI cables. The HDMI coming out of your mini AV to HDMI goes into the video input side of the Roxio Game Capture HD Pro, and then turning it around, another HDMI has to go from the output side into your television. Also, your Roxio should have came with a special cord that you plug into this white port here, and then the other side will go into your computer. After installing the software, you should see this shortcut either on your desktop or anywhere on your computer where you have your shortcuts listed. So make sure to double click that and you will open up the program itself. And now you're going to want to click on the blue capture button. Yes, there is a green edit and share button that you could click as well if you do want to use Roxio's own in-house editing software, but personally I don't really use it, and also for the purpose of this tutorial we're just looking at how to capture footage, so we're going to click on the blue capture button. And now that you've done that, if you've done everything correctly thus far, you should see your gameplay footage right there. The game that we actually have on right now is WCW Mayhem, which we actually played myself and Sadish Ram on the first episode, one of the first videos on this channel, which was Those Guys Play Season 1, Episode 1. So, let's see how you record the footage though, because I think that's what matters the most. I would imagine that's what matters the most here to you guys. So, looking here, you can see that obviously your source is the Roxio Game Capture HD Pro. That really shouldn't change because that's what we're using. You'll notice that if maybe you have a blue screen or a black screen, I would imagine that the problem is that your input should be on HDMI, not on component, because in this case, even though we are using AV cables, it's going through that little AV to HDMI, so we're actually using HDMI right now. Going down to settings, we can see that settings really just stays at M2 TS. That's just the file itself. Usually that should work in your editing software of choice, or if you're using the Roxio's editing software that comes built in. If it doesn't, you can easily convert it using any free conversion software. I personally use any video converter, so if you guys had any issues with that, I imagine that, or playback or anything like that, that could be the problem. So going down here, you can see where it saves to. You can save to any place. I just save it to videos and I just move them around when need be. Prefix, that's just the actual title, that's the file name. Personally, I just leave it as the date in case I ever need to refer back to it. Usually I'm only doing 1 to 2 videos anyway, so really it doesn't really change anything if I change it to, let's say like Crash Bandicoot 1 or Crash Bandicoot 2 or WCW Mayhem 1 or 2 or something like that. So going down here, obviously, HDMI status ready means that everything's good to go. Green, if it's red, I'm pretty sure it says not ready. Either way, the point is that that's clearly something is not working. So, go down to live stream. If you click on live stream, here's something really cool. So early on when I started doing these TG Tutorials episodes, I thought that live stream was dead on this because it says Justin.tv, and if any of you guys don't know, Justin.tv is dead. But what I actually learned from an awesome YouTuber that commented in one of my other previous videos, Justin.tv has become Twitch. So you actually put in your Twitch username and password and sign into Twitch and live stream through here. But today we're talking about recording footage, so let's talk about that in particular before we even do because obviously there's a green start capture button here. You know, I wonder what that does. I want to mention that you actually have mute preview audio here, which matters because if you have your computer's audio on, you may end up hearing audio twice, which obviously is not good. You're hearing it from your television or whatever primary source you're using, maybe a desktop, a monitor or something, and also from the laptop or whatever else you're using to record this footage. So basically, you're going to hear it through the Roxio and through the you know, whatever monitor you're using to actually play the game. Because if you don't know, the footage on your Roxio, it is delayed. So sadly, yes, live streaming, stuff like that, there is a little bit of a delay, there's a little bit of a lag, there's nothing you can really do about that, and that's why you're going to have to focus your attention away from your laptop or your desktop monitor, whatever it is that you have Roxio running on, and focus on the main primary source of video, because that's going to be the most accurate, especially when you're playing really any video game. Timing is key, and the lag is definitely matters. So this is to adjust recording audio. So if you turn this off, then you'll have no audio during your recording whatsoever. You of course can just keep the audio in and maybe mute it in post if you want, but I do think that that's perfect for anyone streaming on Twitch and is a little bit worried about you getting muted with your video game audio. Scroll over here that says show info, but then there's also this button right here that says enhance picture. I want to show this off to you guys because I think this is the worst. I think this is worthless, and I think that really you guys should not be using this whatsoever, but you guys are probably going to comment on it below, so I thought, let me show you why this is worthless. Let me put it all the way bright. All the way bright. And that's what brightness is. It's not behind, it's actually in front of. So it's like a Game Boy Color front light, not a backlight. And you can't remove this because in your video editing software of choice, you can see it even bleeds into the black on the side. So really, I would suggest just putting all of these as brightness, hue, contrast, saturation, just at their default settings, and messing with any of those that you need to in your video editing software of choice. Personally, I'll sometimes change the colors if I think that there's an issue with that, or maybe sometimes when you record the footage, it's a little bit too dark. So I have done that in the past, and I think it's a lot better to do that there than to do it here. So I want to mention, if any of you guys want to know just some options and stuff like that, so let's go to Tools and Options right up here. And just in case you want to change anything, like profile 480p, you can change it to HD 720 or HD 1080. Really depends on what your computer can handle. And also, depending on how much you're stretching the video, what kind of game that you're playing. I mean, a game like this, putting it HD 720, HD 1080p, is it really going to affect it when you're playing it straight from your PlayStation 1? Personally, I don't think so, and also I'm not going to usually have a full screen of it anyway. You've seen how we've done some of our videos on the channel before. If you haven't, we usually have TGP to the left, and you'll have like a little tiny logo on the bottom right hand corner, and of course bottom right hand corner will be me or someone else, whoever I'm playing with. So video bitrate, again, you can change that if you like. It really depends on how powerful your system is, not referring to console, referring to laptop, desktop, whatever it is, because there could be some stuttering or lagging issues, and that does become a little bit problematic if you're trying to record a long form video, or even just if you're trying to record you know, a review or something like that, and all of a sudden there's some glitches in the video and you have to edit around that, and maybe that was a big important part, maybe that was something fun, maybe it's a little off. So again, you have to kind of set it up to your system and your specifications. Going over to hotkeys, I really don't use these, but if you care to, then you totally should. And live stream settings I don't really use, but looking at these, it's just standard live stream stuff, really. I mean, if you were logged into Twitch, I'm sure it would matter a lot more. Also, speaking of talking about like how powerful your system is, quality also affects that. That's why I kind of put this a little bit lower. But again, on most of these games, it really doesn't matter. However, of course, you can bring it all the way to the you know, to the plusiest plus, to the right there. But personally, sorry, I was lost in the match footage. Anyway, I just want to say that I think that's when Ray lost his mask. Anyway, so moving back to the tutorial portion of the video, moving it all the way to the right again could cause some performance issues. That's why I don't do that. I just have a little bit lower, a little bit towards the negative there, but not all the way, because I don't want the footage to be that terrible. So anyway, and also whenever you start and capture and end a capture, your file will end up here. And of course you can delete it from here, but it doesn't mean that you're deleting it from the actual hard drive itself. It'll still be saved in your videos folder so long as you delete it the right way. So anyway, And you can also click set capture length too, but personally I don't really care for that. I think I just rather just, start when I want to start and end when I want to end. Sometimes you kind of lose track of time depending on what game you're recording, what game you're playing, and bad things can happen. So personally I'd rather do that. And also I would also suggest when clicking start capture, potentially use a mouse, not a touchpad of any kind, because I have had some issues where, and it's a touchpad thing, but it still does matter, I think, for a lot of us who have laptops and stuff like that. It ends up accidentally clicking the start capture button twice, but the recording still happens. But then when I click stop capture, there's just some weird issue, right? Or I click start capture twice, but again, just because of the faulty touchpad, and I think it's recording, but it's not. So there's been some issues with that before, so I tend to be very careful now when clicking start capture. So I would suggest using a mouse rather than some kind of touchpad. So anyway, so we're done here, so let's jump back to me in front of the shelf.
Alright guys, and look at that. Sure, it was a little bit convoluted, just a little bit of wires going into here, there, and all that stuff, but you know what? At the end of the day, you got it to work, and that is awesome. Now, if there is an issue and you didn't get it to work, then please comment below, just go in the comment section below, and comment, and I'll try to answer any questions that you guys have. So, thank you all so much for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe if you liked the video, and if you didn't like the video, then you know what to do. You can like and subscribe either way. Alright guys, thank you all so much. Love you guys. Take care, and see ya.